You know, folks, I know that it may not feel like it these days, but Donald Trump is losing and good guys are winning. And we need to keep that in mind as we go forward because the news is so loud right now and the zone is so flooded. Their hope is to beat us into submission and make us give up, but we're never going to do that. We're always going to keep standing up and fighting. And a while back, I did a video here on the channel, and we all talked about the Maine governor who stood up to Donald Trump and said that she would see him in court and that she would win. And she has. Trump has backed down. And so we're going to read this story here. I'm going to read this one to you from The Guardian. This is one for the good guys, folks, and we need to keep our focus on this and understand that we are not defeated. We're not beat. We're not out of this one just yet. If you stand up to Trump, he will eventually have to back down because, sometimes, whether he likes it or not, the law is the law. So I'm going to read you this one right here. Win for Maine as Trump officials agree to halt school funding freeze. The USDA has suspended funds for child nutrition programs after the state said it would not bar trans girls from girls' sports. So the Trump administration has agreed not to freeze funds to Maine schools, a win for the state that was targeted by the president over its support of transgender rights. In a settlement disclosed on Friday, the USDA said that it would halt all efforts to withhold funds for a child nutrition program in Maine. The USDA had suspended those dollars after Maine officials said the state would not comply with Donald Trump's demands that trans girls be banned from participating in girls' sports. In February, when the president directly threatened to revoke funding from the state at a White House meeting with governors, Janet Mills, Maine's Democratic governor, responded, "We will see you in court," in a widely shared exchange. Maine then sued the USDA last month to maintain its funding and agreed on Friday to drop its lawsuit in exchange for the restoration of funds. It's good to feel a victory like this, the governor said in a press conference. "I stood in the White House, and when confronted by the President of the United States, I told him I would see him in court. Well, we did see him in court, and we won." The governor said the USDA had frozen funds for a program that helps feed 172,000 children in the state. The USDA did not immediately respond to a request for comment. The settlement says the USDA and Brooke Rollins, the Secretary of Agriculture, agree to refrain from freezing termination or otherwise interfering with the state of Maine's access to the United States Department of Agricultural funds. The Trump administration had alleged that Maine's policy of allowing transgender youth's participation in sports violated Title IX, the federal anti-discrimination law. Maine attorneys argued that the child nutrition program received or was due to receive more than $1.8 million for the current fiscal year. Prior years' funds that were awarded but are currently inaccessible total more than $900,000, the lawsuit said. The complaint also said that the program was anticipating about $3 million that is typically awarded every July for the summer meal program sponsor administration and meal reimbursement. A federal judge had ordered the Trump administration to unfreeze the funds last month after finding that Maine was likely to succeed in its real legal challenge. Aaron Frey, the Maine Attorney General, said in a statement on Friday, "It's unfortunate that my office had to resort to federal court just to get the USDA to comply with the law and its own regulations, but we are pleased that the lawsuit has now been resolved and that Maine will continue to receive funds as directed by Congress to feed children and vulnerable adults." So, yeah, folks, that is a win, and we need to focus on that, and we need to think more about that in the future whenever Trump and MAGA and all of his trolls and all of his cabinet tries to flex at us, because they're going to. And they're going to continue to do so. They're going to continue to try to intimidate people because that's all they have. They're not the party of ideas. They're not the party of solutions. They're not the party of progress and change. And they'll admit that. They're not the party of progress. Hell, the country singer John Rich had a song about, shoving your progress up your ass. So they're absolutely against that. But they're going to continue to flex, and they're going to continue to try to push us around and bully us, but we won't let them do that. We won't let them win. Back when the election happened, I've talked about it here on the channel many times, how that my hate mail increased more since the election. Death threats increased since the election. More people flexing at me, more people threatening me. I'm not going to back down, though. I'm not going to stop doing what I'm doing. But I do remember conversations that I had with fellow content creators about what would we do um, in the scenario that Trump come after us. And I've had several people ask me that since the election, what are you going to do when he comes after you? And I had his supporters flexing, going, he's going to come after you. He's going to take everything you got. And my answer is, I'm not backing down. But a lot of us that do this type of thing, we talked about it and we were like, you know what? When he comes for us, we won't back down. We'll just go to court and we'll stand there and we will stand our ground and won't be silenced. And maybe if Trump does enough of this stuff, maybe if he goes after enough judges and enough governors and enough states and enough journalists and people don't get their due process, and he the more he tries to silence people, and then the more that his base suffers due to his actions, the more that happens, I think the more he will have no choice but to back down. And eventually, I believe that people will get tired of the rhetoric, because if people are suffering and can't get ahead in this world, then are they really going to want to see Donald Trump go after a YouTuber? I mean, you really got to stop and ask yourself, okay, if this person over here can't afford to pay their bills, if this person over here is in need of an operation and can't get it, if this person over here's daughter is really needing some medical help and can't get it or can't decide for herself, and they're facing those kind of real problems, do you think they're really going to, at that point in the game, are they going to care if I'm on YouTube ranting against Trump at that particular point? Or are they going to say, hey, maybe that dude's starting to make sense, why are you going after him? So that's why that I won't be pushed around or bullied by it, because it's like, okay, if you come at me, then you have to fight me. And if you come at me and say you're going to try to take me down and take away the channel, then you have to fight me, and you have to have something to stand on. And Donald Trump has nothing to stand on other than he just disagrees with us. Other than he just doesn't like the fact that we ain't drunk the Kool-Aid. Other than he just doesn't like the fact that we won't repeat his bullshit. He sits there in those interviews and he says, why can't you just say it? Why can't you just say he's got MS-13 on his knuckles? Why can't you just admit that gas is down? Why can't you say it's $1.98? Because we don't live in an alternate reality. Because we live in the real world, and we're not going to insult people's intelligence the way that you have, and we're not going to get off grifting people the way that you have by insulting their intelligence. So that's why. So we're not going to back down. And this Maine governor story is case in point that he can bark at you, he can threaten you. Remember how cocky he looked at her? Well, you're going to do it. You're going to comply. You're going to do it. Remember how he flexed? And remember how she said, well, see you in court? She did. She saw him in court. She won. He backed down. So to anyone that says, what are you going to do, Brando, if they come for you, buddy? I'm going to stand my ground and they'll back down. Because there's a Constitution laying here on my desk talks all about the First Amendment. I'll be glad to talk to Trump about it, and I'll be glad to talk to Elon Musk about it any day of the week, and I will tell them exactly how they went about bastardizing that argument. Handing over your platform to Nazis is not that's not free speech. That's just you showing who you really are. That's showing who you'll give the microphone to. The Constitution says that Congress shall make no law against someone like me having freedom of speech. And so, that's one of those hills I'll die on, and battle that I'll continue to fight. But that's just a point proven that if you stand up to Trump, he will back down, and we're seeing more and more of it. And he doesn't like to talk about that. That's why he suddenly starts jerking Alcatraz out of his ass, because I guess he watched a movie. I don't know. Oh, I really do believe, though, I said this in a previous video, but go find Brett Meiselas reading the transcript to Trump's Alcatraz response. I think that from now on, we don't play Trump clips here on the channel. We just read his transcripts, because people need to understand just what a buffoon that guy is and what a bully he is. And there's nothing better than seeing a bully flex at somebody and go, you're going to do it, and then have to back down. And of course, MAGA's never going to let those stories be heard. They're going to try to tamp those down and make, don't bring up the Maine governor. Don't bring up Janet. Don't bring her up. Don't bring up the fact that she just dog walked this dude. No, we're going to bring it up. Every time Trump gets dog walked, we're going to bring it up. He barked, he backed down, and he will continue to do so, because we won't back down. And I truly do appreciate y'all helping me cross over 700,000 subscribers here on the channel. And if you like the kind of content I do, let's get to 1 million. I do believe we can hit it before the end of the year. I appreciate all of your support and standing with me through it all. I'll be honest with you, I don't focus on the hate mail. I don't get in the comment section and focus on the trolls anymore. I don't listen to that. I don't care what they have to say. I care about the issues at hand, and we will continue to bring those to light. And we will continue to stand up to Donald Trump no matter what. And we won't back down. Tom Petty said it best. You can stand us up at the gates of hell. We won't back down, folks. It ain't happening.